Hello and welcome to Paradise Fibers. My name is Kyle. You might have seen me on some of the previous Addi Express machine videos, and we've got a wonderful customer named Joan in Canada that had questions on how to replace a needle on the machine. So Joan, this video goes out especially for you. It's very simple if you follow these instructions. The first thing you're going to want is a Phillips head screwdriver, preferably on the smaller side because the screws are a bit small. And that's it. And you can see this machine here has been cannibalized a little bit. We've been selling these like hotcakes, so we don't have any new ones in stock currently to do this on. So I'm just going to show you on one of the machines that I've used. Looking at the top of the machine, it's going to be the same on the Express or the Kingsize. You'll see 4 screws on top here around this red ring. And then if you can see down here, where my 2 fingers are, there's also 2 smaller screws. When we take these screws out, you're going to want to make sure that you put them in separate piles, because I believe some of them have different threads and you don't want to mix them up. That'll definitely cause you problems when you're assembling it and putting it all back together. So the first thing we're going to do is take these top 4 screws off. And keep in mind when you are taking these off and putting them on, use a hand screw, don't use a screw gun. These are plastic, so I would hate for you to crack something. Just be gentle with them. They don't have to be on there as tight as you can get them. Just nice and snug. Whoops. Okay, so we have these 4 screws out, and I'm going to put those in a separate pile so I don't mix those up with the bottom ones. Once you have those 4 screws out, this whole ring with your yarn keeper is going to slide out like so. So the easiest way to put it back on, yarn keeper, remember, goes right in front of your row counter. So you can just grab it by the yarn keeper and it slides right out, and that's step 1. Step 2 is going to be to take these 2 screws out now, and that is going to allow us to access these needles. So you kind of got to get down in there and loosen those 2 screws. And when you're doing this, once these 2 screws are loose, you want to make sure that you keep the machine upright, otherwise it's going to be a mess, and I would hate for that to happen to you. So we took the 4 screws out on top, and we took the 2 screws out on the bottom. Now you're going to be able to pull this red thing straight up, and this black centerpiece also comes straight out. So there's 3 pieces that you're going to take off. Once you've taken this out, you can see in the inside now you have access to all of these needles. So if you have a broken needle, you don't have to move your handle to where it's at. Just grab any one of these needles and they slide right out. And I'll kind of show you at a different angle here. Any one of these needles in here, you just grab it and it slides right out. So you pull your damaged needle out, you take your new needle, and it's got this little nipple on the back side of it. You're going to want that facing towards the center of this hole here. There's only one way to put it in, so you can't put it in wrong, so don't worry about that. If you try and put it in backwards, it won't work. So you slide it right back down, and there it goes. And also keep in mind, if you move these needles around or if it drops, your row counter will be off, because this right here is needle number 1, and it's a black needle. So if all of these fall out and it gets tipped upside down, there's no way to know that that's number 1. So what a good thing might be is when you do change it, pull your black one out, take a black permanent marker, make a mark there in case you ever have to replace the needle again, or if it does somehow get mixed up, you know exactly where that number 1 needle is, especially if you have to replace a black needle. So whatever you pull out, make sure you put either a white or black needle back in the exact same spot. So now we're ready to put it back together. What we're going to do is, you can see on this centerpiece that we took out, there's this indentation. That indentation is going to face the row counter. There's only one way this can go on as well. You can see in here all the needles lay flat, except right in front of the row counter it's arched up, and that's where that indentation goes. if you try and put it on the other way, it won't work. So again, there's only one way to put it on. So we'll slide that on. And this can go on either before or after we screw this down. So I'm going to go ahead and put these 2 screws in just so I can get those needles secured in there. Okay, so we got those, and you just get them nice and snug. You don't have to crank on them hard. Now here's another important step, and what I like to do is once I have that center black piece on, I like to crank this until my center black needle is pointed up, and that is actually going to be your number 2 needle. Okay, so I'm going to slide this straight down. And you got to kind of jiggle it a little bit, get everything lined up to number 2. So what I'll show you, if you can see on the camera, I hope you can, it might be tough, all of these slots here are labeled with a number, if you haven't noticed that already. The center black needle is your number 2 needle. So I'm going to find number 2 on this ring. It's right there. That's number 2. And I'm going to put that on the needle that I have sticking straight up in the air. And as you can see, it doesn't just slide on, you kind of got to jiggle it and find that sweet spot. So the last step is we're going to take our yarn keeper in this top bracket, we're going to slide it right in front, and we will put these 4 screws back in. And I dropped that last, there it is. Last screw fell out of that hole on me. Alright, that is the last screw. You now have all of your needles back in working order, and that is how you replace a needle on either the Addi Express knitting machine or the Addi Kingsize. It is the exact same steps for both. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Our number here is 888-320-7746, or be sure to check out our website, www.paradisefibers.com. Thanks for coming.